same player T team, isn't it?
The only one you changed was Jimmy.
Was it? That's what I can't remember if Tims was playing in the iteration last year, or if Tims is new as well compared to 1 year ago. But I'm pretty sure Kuku, Raven, and Sam H were definitely on the TI6 team.
Well, we'll double check it and get back to you.
Yeah, we'll double check it.
Well.
So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the picks now. So
yes.
We're a little bit into the draft now. Not too surprising as far as bans go. This is the type of bans that you will generally see against a team. A very stun-heavy team, especially their offlane player Sam H is a very renowned Sand King player, for example, which is not really that good in the offlane right now, in my opinion, but he has been exceptional on that hero. A hero like Batrider is perfect for him. That's the one they're going to end up grabbing here in the first phase. And as far as EG goes, you generally don't want to give them IO, and Shaker right now is a top-tier pick and ban. I think we're going to see this hero banned a lot just as a meta ban, rather than a targeted ban toward the team. Shaker is just a... Guess what? G will just go for their classic first pick Puck that they've run recently.
Just so classic to have that Oracle come in the second, though?
It's a Batrider counter, I think, mainly. EG want to keep their options open, but as far as the cores go, and then they just pick a support that seems to have good flexibility against the opponent. Picking that into Batrider is nice. The problem for Oracle, however, is that this hero is very positioning dependent, and you can be caught out by both Batrider and Night Stalker. They're going to be playing at a vision deficit almost guaranteed when you look at this draft. So that's something EG kind of have to solve, either by getting scouting heroes such as a Lycan type hero, find heroes, or having a lineup that is so, how to put it, that I don't want to say deathball, but that it's very grouped up together, so it's much harder for Batrider to find picks.
Well, the Deathball may actually be the way to go. Like, when you talk about Oracle pickups, normally you talk about the hero he's going to work with. Like, is it just meant to be saving the Batrider, or is he meant to enable the other possible hero? This could be a Universe Puck. Do we look at other options now for Samael to run in that mid lane?
There's a couple of key heroes, I think, that you need to keep in mind when Oracle is picked. One of them is Huskar. He's gone.
Fourth ban from TnC.
Good choice. Oracle generally makes me think of heroes, that regenerate somehow, so you get a lot out of False Promise. A hero like Alchemist could still be an option for... It is...
There were some people actually tossing Alchemist around, wondering if he would actually appear in this tournament.
You're always going to see Alchemist in big tournaments. It's always going to be... So, the way I look at it is that in these tournaments, there's going to be different paced games based on matchups and based on how much information the teams have about each other. And if the game slows down just a bit, Alchemist gets a lot better as a pick. But maybe this early on, it's not time yet to pull out that kind of pick. But we know Samael plays a really good Alchemist. And EG haven't been afraid of playing it recently. I think they're one of the only teams, actually, in the last 2 months that have been picking Alchemist at least a couple of times. I can't remember who the opponent was, but I remember Samael just getting completely out of control with his Alchemist. What else is a classic Oracle pairing?
Death Prophet would be the other one.
Death Prophet, yeah. Very good choice for Samael as well. Surely be... It's a bit... Again, you need to have the good positioning on Oracle then, because Death Prophet actually doesn't like facing Batrider. You're standing close to the tower, you're hitting it with Exorcism, and then if you get pulled into the enemy team, you don't really have any defensive ways of getting out unless Oracle is on the ball, so...
And Samael's mainly been playing like Lena's, Embers, Queen of Pains as the primary heroes. Some more Samael-style heroes, not these just walk-at-you-style heroes, which everyone gets a little impressed when Samael plays, because he can't highlight his full abilities. I Spirit Siphon, yay, I'm a player.
Well, you can display a lot of skill on DP as well, but it's just not as flashy. I agree with that.
Rubik. Probably going to be one of the biggestly contested heroes.
Yeah,
next to Pudge in the Arcana draft for conversation talks. EI.
Okay. Something we here talked about too much is the value of Null Field. Generally, you focus on can he steal some cool spells? You have Telekinesis, you have Fate Bolt to depush, but the Null Field can be very important. And at least this two opening from EG is like more or less only magic damage. And that is not going to change with that pick either, unless it's a core, which I seriously doubt. There's probably a Zai Conka here. Actually, this hero has some interesting counterplay potential against Batrider. You have the X marks the spot to target the guy who gets lassoed, and then pull him back out. So now they have both supports have counterplay for lasso. Also, innately, a nice way of catching the Batrider out. In both in lane and in the mid game, you can catch him with that X mark. Make things happen, but still, EG no vision.
Yep.
And that is my primary concern for them right now, because now they've picked two supports. It has to be a core giving vision.
It's feeling more Deathball, combining Ghost Shift plus the survivability of Oracle, the teamfight control that can come from the puck, but they're still missing someone that can push the lane.
Yeah.
You got all this wonderful team fight and survivability in the lineup, but you don't have more. You don't have that ability to actually force TnC into an engagement. And now they've got the Juggernaut. It's even more safety in lane. They've got the vision advantage. They've got the farm advantage. They've got immunity advantage. It's wonderful for them.
There we go.
All right.
That's the vision hero.
There's your vision and there's your push.
Yeah. Probably going to be seeing this run by Arteezy. And this also means that TnC, picking Arteezy's hero at this point, I really like, just because it conceals the puck for as long as possible. TnC aren't completely sure now what type of hero they need to ban, because this puck could be either offlane or mid. If they would have picked the mid hero for Sumail, such as an Alchemist, then TnC know for sure that they can last ban a carry that they don't want to pair up with that Oracle. There's plenty of options here. The way I see it for EG is not at least. They're going to go ahead and ban the Beastmaster, so a vision hero being taken out here that Universe could have run. Would have also been very nice for their pushing aspect with the Inner Beast aura, and of course Primal Roar is a nice way of dealing with the type of hero that Juggernaut is. A BKB piercing or Magic Immunity piercing stun is very powerful against Jugger.
Would have been a lot safer as well than running something like the Universe Enigma offlane, which would give you your push and your teamfight control, but fares poorly against the Roop. Just because he can turn it around on him.
I could definitely see Enigma being a choice here. It doesn't sound too bad. I somehow have a feeling that this puck might be run offlane just because of the support duo he's facing. Rubik and Nightstalker are actually not that good at killing puck until nighttime. Especially when the carry in the lane is a Juggernaut. You know, their only stun is Telekinesis, which is pretty short, and then they have Void. Until Nightstalker hits level 2, if he skills Silence level 2 as Nightstalker support, which is pretty uncommon, because then you reach nighttime, and then are you actually gonna have Hunter in the night when night begins? Unless he does that, puck fares pretty well here in that offlane, I think. It's not too bad.
He should do pretty well, like with the Lycan buff up as well. That should give him a lot more to function with.
For sure.
You just got to have the selfless, safe laning Arteezy.
Oh, that's actually a very good point as well, though we didn't mention. They picked Lycan into Nightstalker. That's a classic counter pick in this patch where, oh, there's going to be a lot of nighttime, so now we pick the hero that has that empowers the entire team during the night. And it actually went through all the way to 4th pick. I don't think TnC were thinking about this hero, because a lot of other teams are banning Lycan after they pick the NS. They might have thought Veno was a bigger threat, but
Veno would have caused a lot of problems for the Batrider.
Yes.
More than anything else. And so what is our last one? It's going to be the Faceless Void. So they go
puck.
for Teamfight Lockdown. A little bit of trouble, though, doing damage into Chronosphere targets.
Yeah, so when you pick Void with a melee core, one of two things needs to happen. Either the Chrono needs to be placed very well so your melee hero can hit the targets in the Chrono on the edge, or you use Chrono as a control tool that the carry then plays around. The reason Lycan and Void actually don't have the worst synergy ever, you're thinking like, the targets in the Chrono on the edge, or you use Chrono as, because he can really quickly maneuver as a control tool that the carry then plays around. The reason 2 or 3 heroes are stunned, Lycan is very powerful in fights. He wins almost every single man fight just by virtue of being ridiculously strong at that phase in the game. And he can run down the supports. So if you Chrono the cores, then Lycan will get 1 or 2 kills during that Chrono. And the rest of the lineup is strong at that phase in the game. There's a lot of other heroes that deal damage in Chrono. Queen of Pain last.
So she'll be heading towards the mid, and that ramps up the TnC and EG lineups. Queen of Pain, like, it gives them their burst damage, but is she really going to be able to win out against a puck? It's an old-fashioned matchup, the Queen of Pain versus a puck.
It's different now than it used to be a year or 2 ago. This lane, in my book, is quite a bit puck favored. It used to be like considered one of the true 50-50s almost. But I think in this patch, the puck has maybe a 10% farm advantage in that lane if both players play very well. You win like 60-40 maybe, and it's simply by puck has better damage and has better sustain in the lane by being able to dodge attacks with phase shift. You can counter out the Shadow Strike, and of course, your ability to push the wave is better than Queen's if it comes to that, so you have a higher chance of getting runes because you have 2 spells that can nuke out the wave and better mana economy in general. I don't know if this was the right choice, picking this Queen of Pain. They're picking it into Kunkka, who's considered a decent counter. If X marks the spot to put back, she can get messed with quite a lot by time dilation. And Lycan is one of the few carries that can actually catch you after your blink, so I think EG have the tools here. I kind of favor them a bit as far as this draft goes, because they solved the problems that they have.
Yeah. I'm still interested to see how TnC set the pace of this game. You talked about TnC playing a fast game against EG. their lineup will allow for that. If Queen of Pain's early rotations work out, if the Juggernaut finds himself useful with rotations, then maybe that's the question we should probably start asking. When do the cores really start causing problems for Evil Geniuses? When does the Juggernaut actually start his rotations? Where is his first impact he's looking for? Is it to go into the tier 1 tower up on the top lane? Is it meant to be to rotate to the bottom lane and try and shut down Arteezy? How does TnC keep EG on the back foot?
I think their lineup is very, very momentum based, so it's very fitting, right? It's I don't want to call it a hit or miss lineup, but it's one where if you don't get stuff done in the first 10 minutes, I feel like it falls flat a little bit. So they've put themselves in that sense a little bit on a clock to perform actions, but at the same time their lineup is also really good at doing it. At night time you have Night Stalker and Bat Rider playing together. The Rubik can rotate for ganks. You have 2 strong cores to gank for. The Bat Rider is a really good hero to gank for at night time. The Queen of Pain can definitely find kills with rotations. And then it just comes down to, okay, do TnC perform this early game well enough that they built the advantage they need? We talked about, I think it's fair to say EG's teamfight is just vastly superior. And their late game I also like better, just because this is not the best Juggernaut late game, I think. Doesn't fare that great against Lycan, and especially not against Void. Hard lockdown is generally a very good way to go against Jugger, which might have been why TnC banned the Beast Masters.
This also feels like one of those games too when like the Juggernaut is for once alone without the Magnus buff up, without that big burst flash farm that can come from him. Like when you look at the drafting and like just the item progression for him now, do you still want to try and go for that carry Juggernaut? And what is the progression? Do you go for the farming items? Do I dare mention the Battle Fury Juggernaut and piss off everybody in the world?
I was thinking the same thing, if you should go farming oriented. But I don't think that's the way you farm with Jugger this patch. I think you go Mask of Madness. And then maybe you go into a Maelstrom. Like if you play very farm heavy, and then later on you can play that
TnC. They're going to try and contest that top bounty room, pick him up, throw him away with a telekinesis. But then the focus target, it is going to be down towards the Rubik. 1437's on the run. Is there enough pressure from Sam H and Tims? There isn't in time to kill off Crit, but the sticky napalm is there, making it difficult for Crit to escape. One more punch from Tims will do the work. But Sam H is taking significant amount of damage. First blood goes the way of EG. As far as the bounty rune goes, TnC did at least claim 3, so it's a small reward for the first blood that they lost.
That first blood gold went to Crit, and then he died immediately after. So he actually didn't gain that much because he lost some of it. Yeah, that's a pretty even trade overall. Very curious to see how this mid lane plays out. I think this, Sumail is already starting to very good control. Help from Tims will be coming in. Sumail has successfully already created a double wave. This is a concept that we're going to be seeing a lot of this tournament. Since the mid lane was changed, so there's an extra creep, you can just dominate your opponent by pushing really hard and then having so many creeps under the tower that you can freely go and hit the opposing hero and limit his ability to get CS. Sumail right here with this double wave. You see they have to yield immediately. There's just way too many creeps coming in, and realistically Cuckoo is going to lose a lot of creeps here. Sumail plays it right. He did not on that one, or that one. But that one.
Underneath the tower does make it hard. Made it a little bit harder for Cuckoo as well when he's fighting inside the trees, but Tims, this is the reason why he's here. This is the reason why Night Stalker is a fantastic pickup. And a blink forward! Sumail may be in trouble. Cuckoo's going deep, but a little bit too deep. Underneath the tower, he'll burn the salve, but so does Sumail.
Yeah, that's a good howl by Arteezy as well as a insurance policy there, but nice aggression coming out from Cuckoo there, seeing an opportunity to pounce on it. I think this is how you want to try to play against Sumail. If you get the chance in mid, you want to try to pressure him, because else it goes the other way. Sumail is not that kind of passive mid player that'll just sit by and trade farm unless he has to with his hero matchup. So if this amount of pressure they're putting on the puck is very good for TnC here in the mids. Sumail has to play a bit passive now. He will get a second salve coming in, but they're successfully giving Cuckoo a good lane now, this rotation. The question is what it costs, because obviously that means the Night Stalker can't help top or bottom. Well, Universe is having a really good time against this Juggernaut.
Yeah, he's able to find a lot of levels. They were trying to do something about it, like the telekinesis grabbed into spin. That was after he time walks. The Universe did take considerable amounts of damage from that.
Mid lane.
Yeah, Cuckoo, X-Marks, Torrented, support's coming in. Tims is on his way. So is the Courier, and they turn around and just punch into Zai. Cuckoo has to retreat back out again. He'll burn yet a second salve now for that mid.
This will be I think this is a good opening game to just see how the mid lane is going to be played this tournament. This lane is the biggest lane of Dota simply because of the extra creep now. There's going to be a lot of emphasis on...
Oh, Crit. Get out of here, Crit. Top lane, he's being fireflied up. Sticky napalm to 4 stacks. All that Firefly needs to do is get on top of him.
Oh, the
more,
Centaur!
but the Centaur Storm, it keeps Arteezy and Zai controlled. Crit will die, and Sam H will get a solo kill, trying to contest the dire pull on top lane.
Man, if he would have killed another hero in that Firefly burn, Zai dropped pretty low as well.
Samael is on the wrong side of the tracks. One range creep's able to find him. Tims will be there. Quick blink forward. Cuckoo's going to find the kill. Samael finding himself stranded behind the tier 1 tower and getting punished on his way out.
This early game is looking very good for TnC, not just because of the kills, but also the amount of farm that the Juggernaut is getting is very nice. They've managed to create a pretty 50-50-ish situation in that mid lane. Very important, as we... The only hero who's suffering a bit as far as CS goes is Sam H, but he just found that kill, so he's also looking okay. And I think TnC's game plan now has been executed well enough that the first night time, now the Night Stalker's level 3, is going to be really dangerous. EG needs to be careful not to hemorrhage too many kills right now, as...
So you've got at least that nice burst damage in the cripple, but what you don't have is the control. So Universe can time walk out, Puck will be able to illusionary or back out. And you've got different methods of escape available for Evil Genius' cause on the lanes. And then of course it's a Lycan.
Yeah.
You're not going to gank the Lycan.
The silence point for Tims is going to be very valuable. It looks like he's actually prioritizing that as well. He's like sticking around in the bottom area, getting levels together with the Rubik. We don't that often see supports just playing together. Okay, now he's going to leave. He's waiting for a ward. This level 4 for NS would be very nice for Tim to get. He knows where Universe is now. Dirk is going to try to mess with him a bit. Yep, okay.
So he can ward, he can leech. But there's no gank, and EG, you asked them not to hemorrhage. At this point, they're hiding on the map from TnC. There are no options on the field for a gank to come in from Tims. And instead, Samael trying to get aggressive in mid. The torrent! He'll be able to connect, he's got blink, but doesn't have the time. The stun from Zai followed up perfectly. Now Samael in trouble. Rotations from Tims as well as 1437. The telekinesis grab will hold him in position. So 1437 will find the kill. And while Queen of Pain is dead, the supports get the revenge.
That was a really nice setup there from EG though. Like kind of baited the Queen to not. You don't really want to blink there against the Puck, and then Zai with the nice torrent. But TnC just as quick on the counterplay as well, coming in with those 2 supports. And at the end of the day, it's a fairly even trade. TP's being used obviously does matter, but for a hero like I actually don't think Night Stalker even TP'd. I think he just ran over there and read that that was the play that was coming in. 1437 assisted. Easily worth it for them. R spawning. Top rune will to, I guess, Samael. Nope, actually, Zai is just going to take that one. Go. Good torrent in mid. Will set up his X. Good harass coming out of Kuku here.
Meanwhile, on bottom lane, they're trying to actually go onto the Faceless Void. I say trying, succeeding. Faceless Void will die underneath the tier 1 tower. So 1437's rotations on point. We're expecting that to come from him, but it's the fact that Tims is always there with him. The support combination of TnC rotation. You know, it actually feels very reminiscent of LGD International when 1437 used to play for them. Like that quick movement, the two of them just move together and you just find the kills. Yeah, Zai's trapped between the tower, 1437's come in, and the Observer Ward sees all. The Tyrant will be able to connect on 3, but Zai can't get out of here. Cuckoo, Sonic Wave commits, Samael jumps over the top. They'll have to trigger off the Shrine. Samael cannot battle against that level of regeneration. He does get the silence off, but Void is still there. Samael will get punished, trying to find the kill on the Queen of Pain. Even Raven TP'd in to help out in that one. And TnC now 7-2 on the board, 7 minutes in.
Very minor gold lead though. This isn't that bad for EG's lineup. As we talked about earlier, Universe is dead as well. I mean, it's starting to hurt a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's expectable that EG's lineup will fall a little bit behind on kills early on. It's about, do the right heroes get the gold? Are they getting their key items? I think the most worrying thing for EG is that Samael's game is going the way it is. He has 3 deaths. Barely out farming the Queen of Pain here in terms of CS. Okay, actually like 10 ahead now. On net worth, they're fairly even when Puck definitely wants to be ahead.
They're on the hunt.
Oh.
They're coming in for Cuckoo. With the smoke gank maneuver, Zai can't get in range. They just came off the back of killing the Batrider on the top lane, so at least they're slowing down his initiation. That blue dagger that SamH is desperately trying to reach.
Find crit now. Who finds who, though? I think SamH is in a lot of trouble. He's going to die here, more than likely.
Yeah, you've already got that little hit coming in from the Fortune Zen. Torrent to follow up. Can't TP out this one anymore. And even with the Firefly, he's burning Zai down a fair chunk, but it doesn't matter when Arteezy can move over and Zai does find the kill on that Batrider once more.
This is very interesting. We've not really been looking too much at Lycan so far, but Arteezy is going for Necronomicon, and this build on Lycan has completely fallen out of favor as of late. We've mainly seen Lycans go for more of a combat-heavy build with just damage rather than this split-pushing approach or the mana burn, obviously, that Necronomicon gives. Most Lycans would be going for a build along the lines of Mask of Madness and Armlet, and then into a BKB. But wonder what makes him favor the Necro book here, if it's if there's a specific reason he wants that mana burn, or that it is just the game plan. All right, guys, we're going to try to split a bit more here. This is not what I was expecting.
If they feel like
in this game.
If they feel like they need to have more power in the team fight, Necro will provide that. You get a little bit more push out of your lineup, and I suppose you get 2 more minions to give you your vision.
Mid lane, Samael.
Yeah, real issues. Cuckoo going down underneath the tier 1 tower. 1437 and SamH are nearby, and Samael now, he's got an orb available for Telekinesis to pick up. They're trying to stack him up as high as possible before they battle this, but Samael trying to go against everybody. Starts his TP, SamH was moving away. Samael will survive! Understanding no more stuns, no more control, and no more ways to kill him in time.
You really need to be on your A game when you're playing against Lycan when it comes to these moments. It's very deceptive sometimes what you think you can get away with and what you actually can. And I would say in general, the team that has the Lycan will have that little bit of extra advantage. Even if both teams are thinking about it, they obviously choose when to use that Howl. And it definitely gave Samael a little bit of an edge in that fight. Nobody died after the Queen, but you could tell TnC were like hesitating, can we kill him, can we not? And then the Howl comes in, and then he gets to play it safe after. Got out.
And Cuckoo's just wishing he could pop Samael at the moment. The fact that he was able to just get the Shadow Strike off, the Scream as well. Samael doesn't have his Shrine available for another 190 seconds. An eternity for Rapak, who has to now burn all of his bottle charges. Meanwhile, everyone else gets to go back to their farm.
This is going to be an attempt mid, I think. He's going to pop Darkness into silence.
Perfect Scream, Sonic Wave, and Samael gets obliterated. Zai tried to help out. His Torrent was in a good position. He just wasn't ready for it in Viz Tims.
I think they might have not got the Howl off in time either. He died really fast. Tims didn't even cast the Darkness before silencing. He just put the silence and the nuke on him instantly, and then they blew him up with the Sonic. So, nice kill. TnC.
And TnC instantly turned this into something favorable. In fact, it may be even more favorable. Conquer the Firefly up. There's your lasso. They're thinking about clipping him, but they'll put him on the ground so Juggernaut can find out the Chronosphere from Universe. It'll catch his teammate, but he's trying to buy time. Omnislash Chevelle from Juggernaut starts his spin and instantly goes into the TP. They want to bail out this one. Tims fly up. He doesn't actually have ability to TP out this one, and you'll have to jump up to battle him. It's Universe versus Tims. Who is king of the hill? Right now, Universe, he skipped more time, or he won't get it. Tims is the king of the hill, surviving. EG, they wanted something in return, but they'll lose their offlaner as well. All they wanted to do was stop the tier 1 tower from dying.
Well, they did that.
Alright, suppose Samael can now kill him. There's consolation prize. Samael's able to get enough money to have his veil.
Damn, that is such a high value. 600 gold for it. 11 minutes in for Samael. Very good for him, but of course, yes, EG defended the tower, but they're going to lose a full tier 1 top because Arteezy rotated down and can't protect the lane. And this bottom tower is not long for life anyway, I think, for TnC. Their natural nighttime is kicking in 3 seconds. They know there's no Chronosphere for a full minute, and I think they're going to keep on the aggression. The question is if they're going to go bottom or focus more on the top area and try to get the tier 2. So far, so good. Taken 2 tier 1 towers, the mid tower especially at this point. Quite surprising. Samael doesn't generally lose his tower this fast. Has been put on a lot of pressure.
This is TnC's fast gameplay you're talking about. Raven, TP out of the bottom lane getting attacked. I instantly want to push in the top tower. Every tier 1 tower has taken damage, and EG playing reactionary, defensive chronos. Like, we can get Samael a kill, but only after they've lost 2 heroes and Nightstalker clipped himself. Like, it seems like very, very hard work for EG, even though they do have the 2nd and 3rd highest net worth heroes on the map, the Juggernaut is still getting further and further ahead of this Lycan, and we're not feeling the influence yet of Arteezy, but also isn't that something we're expecting? Like when you go for a Necro build, you're not going to say, hey, I'm going to really get in the mix to fight straight away. They're going to find an opening. It's Universe, actually going to be false promised, and Sam H having to run away. Time delays making it difficult, so there's a Torrent and the Orb and the Rift, everything they've got, ship included. Throwing down towards the Batrider, and Arteezy gets himself involved. Necro books, as well as Wolves diving into the tower, looking for 1437, moving back to his tier 2 tower. The Dream Call catching out Tims. Night Stalker once more can die. Not worth as much money this time for the Sumail double kill. But while this is going on, Raven is taking the tier 2 tower up on top lane. EG are forced to fortify. And TnC are not going to lose anything apart from their Batrider and their Night Stalker here. For a full 5-man rotation from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, this play from EG is worth it if they also get the tower, but they simply don't have the resources anymore. And like you said, they lose the tower. So in my book, this is still good for TnC, what just happened. Overall, losing a couple of heroes is obviously not ideal, but when you're trading 2 heroes to defend and get a tower at the same time, I like that trade. Good for them. You're right about the Lycan. Like it's hard for him to get very involved with this Necronomicon build, and at the same time, he doesn't farm as fast as if he had another build. I was wondering if we were going to see him max the Wolves early just because of this vision, but he actually doesn't have them maxed until now. He went for a 2-2-4 build and just now took the 2. And I think EG are identifying that the problem is they don't have as much information as they would like. And they picked Lycan in part for that information, but now it's finally going to start.
Polar Ravage!
Here comes TnC once more. The Dire will scan up, and, well, at least one does ping as the Juggernaut going into the Dire scan.
Very good read.
Those TnCs a little bit further to the north who scanned up. Right on top of the farming position, but they were 5 seconds too late. But now you can see the pressure applying from TnC. They've taken all the towers on the top lane outside of the base of EG. They turn their attention to the bot lane. Observer Ward is down. The vision game is just perfect for TnC. You're flagging it during the drafting phase that EG were going to have troubles with this.
Yep. Looks like this tower will fall and be denied at least this time by EG. So still a very close game right now. No major advantage apart from towers. If you look at the gold advantage that TnC have, if they lose the amount of towers that they've claimed, they're actually behind on gold. So there's like unclaimed gold on the map for EG back, but they need to set up that team fight that allows them to get this bottom tower, and it seems pretty difficult for them right now. Always scary to go into this kind of Night Stalker lineup at this time.
Especially now the Batrider has a Blink Dagger.
Yep.
With his Blink up,
now.
I don't think they actually know about it. I'm not certain if he came in range of either of the Dire Observer Wards. But you can see them trying to prepare. In fact, yep, there you go. The smoke out of range of both of the Dire Obs, and they're coming for a gang. But what do they see? Right now, crits on a warding mission.
See some mail.
Yeah, they saw some mail in bit. They may even get lucky and get the right timing to pick off the courier. Here comes Sam H. Orb already used by Sumail, trying to use it to push the lane out. But now he doesn't have it. Silenced up, controlled up. The spin damage combining with the silence, Puck will pop. And that is a nice free to end. Raven gets more money, and Sumail having more issues with item progression.
Cost on the tower though. If you make the smoke movement and you target the puck in mid, EG know that, okay, in order to kill this puck, you're going to need to bring 2 or 3 heroes, and they instantly turn it into an advantageous play for them getting the tower bottom. So I think TnC originally with that smoke weren't intending on going for puck, but maybe trying to wrap around the bottom push that they felt like EG were going to apply. And then they got tempted to go for puck kill, I want to say. Grab that core. And maybe it was still for the better. Maybe this bottom fight wouldn't have that well.
Yeah, and they got space for farm time too. Cuckoo has now finished up his Veil of Discord. He was farming up the top lane that entire time. Raven was having the time of his life as well. So yeah, you lose the tier 1 tower, but I'm still wondering, like, this is a lot more efficient timing. You're talking like unclaimed gold on the map. Right now with EG, every time they 5-man it up, all that unclaimed gold, the distance won't be as much once EG do claim it.
No.
In net worth.
So what big items do we have coming in? Juggernaut finished his Manta style. Very good timing here from Raven. Queen of Pain Veil, as you mentioned.
Level 3 book is up.
It's getting a Void Stone, so I'm guessing we'll see a... Might be just a Yules next against the Puck Silence. Also nice against Xmark, correctly. And on the EG side, Necro 3 is done. Puck with Blink Veil. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So no really big new items, I would say, apart from that Manta style for Jugger, which makes a huge difference in this game because you can get out of Puck silence now and guarantee a spin, more or less. Right,
so they want to go.
Let's go Roche.
There is no Observer Ward around here. Apart from the Dire side, they have one sitting in front of the pit, but TnC actually have no vision around Roshan. They moved most of their wards. In fact, they've just got that one defensive ward inside their own jungle, but their aggressive vision has actually disappeared. They lost their Observe ward on bottom lane, it timed out. So right now TnC, for all the vision game we were praising them for, there's a small hole. They've only just put the orbs down, but it's too late. EG is already in the pit, taking Roshan, and unless Tim takes to the skies at the moment, they won't realize it in time. In fact, it's
like the Aegis. You know for sure that I still have Aegis, so there's no way she has buyback. Unless you've timed it perfectly, then you obviously know exactly what's going on.
Chrono Universe, he got him! The torrent from Zai, they knew exactly where Raven was. Just trying to relieve a little bit of the pressure by pushing out mid, and then the spin TP. Normally you're pretty good as a Juggernaut to get out of that one, but TnC, they realize it's over. GG, they've lost their Juggernaut, they still have no Queen of Pain. And Evil Geniuses, thank you Samel for deleting all of your items and probably destroying everyone's fantasy points.
Does that matter? I don't think it matters.
I actually don't know. Either way, Evil Geniuses, a solid victory, even though TnC definitely showed their early game prowess. Words. Pro and West.
Yeah, it just got to this point where it got too difficult. TnC played their strength early on, as you mentioned, but the coordination and team fight of EG's lineup just became too difficult to fight into. And when they found those couple of key moments that gave them the Roshans and just a couple of good team fights, I feel like TnC's lineup just ends up being too weak, and they played against the clock and they lost.
Well, we'll have ourselves a quick break. We're coming back. There's so much more Dota still going on. So game 2 of this 2-game series, TnC versus Evil Geniuses, our first series of the TI group stage here on Stream 1. We'll be back after the break.